My name is Stephen Hawking. Throughout my life, people have associated me with black holes, time, and the mysteries of the cosmos. But what fascinates me just as much is a question both ancient and deeply personal. What happens when we die? Is consciousness merely an illusion born from firing neurons? Or could there be something more, something beyond? For decades, I rejected the idea of an afterlife. It sounded like wishful thinking, a way to soften the harsh truth of oblivion. And yet, the deeper I looked into the nature of the universe, the more I found that what we call reality is not as solid or final as it seems. Let me start with what we know. The universe is governed by laws, elegant, consistent, and surprisingly beautiful. Matter and energy cannot be destroyed. They transform. This is not philosophy. It is physics. The atoms in your body were forged in stars. When you die, those atoms return to the cosmos. That much is certain. But what about consciousness? Memory? Identity? These are not made of atoms. They are patterns, arrangements, frequencies. And in quantum physics, information, once created, can never be truly lost. This idea, once considered speculative, is now a cornerstone of our understanding of black holes. Even in the most extreme conditions, information persists. This raises a remarkable possibility. If consciousness is a form of information, structured, dynamic, encoded, then maybe it too persists. Not in the form of a ghost or a soul floating in the clouds, but as part of the fundamental structure of the universe. We already know the brain operates like a quantum system in some ways. It is chaotic, non-linear, and possibly entangled with processes we don't fully grasp. Could it be that consciousness is not generated by the brain alone, but accessed through it? That it is a field, like gravity or electromagnetism, and the brain is just a temporary receiver? If that's true, then death is not the end of consciousness, only the end of its interface with the physical body. I am not saying this to comfort you. I am saying it because the math doesn't rule it out. In fact, some equations suggest that time itself is not linear. Past, present, and future coexist. From this perspective, death may be less like a wall and more like a door. When I began studying black holes, I thought of them as destroyers, but they turned out to be gateways, places where our current understanding of time, space, and cause breaks down. Death, in this sense, is the black hole of personal experience, an event horizon from which our awareness may continue, just not in any form we can now measure. And that brings us to God. People often asked if I believed in God. My answer was usually no, at least not in a personal deity who intervenes in human affairs. But I do believe in a kind of divine order, an intelligence embedded in the laws of nature. I have seen it in the precision of equations, in the elegance of space-time, in the quiet symmetry of entropy. To me, God is not a being. God is the boundary condition of the universe, the ultimate cause, the law that allows laws to exist. In that sense, we are not apart from God. We are expressions of it. I have lived most of my life inside a body that could not move, could not speak without machines. And yet, I have traveled through time, wandered the edge of singularities, imagined multiverses. My mind was free, even when my body was not. So, if the mind can live beyond the body, while we are alive? Why assume it cannot do the same in death? Some will say these are just hopeful speculations, but I say this: it is more rational to be open to mystery than to claim final certainty about what we do not yet understand. The universe has room for more than equations. It has room for wonder, for beauty, for questions we may never answer. In the end, I do not fear death. I have lived with it beside me for years. What frightens me more is the idea that we live without asking what it means to be alive. So, ask questions, not just about the stars, but about your soul, about why you feel what you feel, love who you love, dream what you dream. These things are not meaningless. They are fingerprints of something eternal. Even if I am wrong and death is the end, then what a magnificent illusion life is. But if I'm right, then we are all part of something vast, eternal, and interconnected beyond comprehension. We are the universe, observing itself, and perhaps, in some way we cannot yet define, we always will be. Let me ask you something. Why do we, a species capable of decoding the light of stars, still fear what happens after our final breath? Perhaps it is not death itself we fear, but the possibility that life had no meaning, that we simply vanish, and that all our love, all our curiosity, all our pain was for nothing. But this fear assumes that meaning must be eternal to be real. It does not. A flame is no less beautiful because it flickers. A sunrise is no less profound because it ends. If life is a pattern of moments, then every moment you have lived, every idea you've held has already reshaped the cosmos in small but measurable ways. There is a principle in quantum physics called the observer effect. The act of observation alters the outcome. Your awareness changes reality. Do you understand how extraordinary that is? The fact that you are conscious changes the universe. That alone suggests something sacred about our presence here.